have to continue to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host English News every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show that is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history, hand-forged by 10 generations of the greatest craftsmen, which stands for a testimony of the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. That leads us to the show for today, our bi-weekly update. With me is my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, a political commentator. More importantly, he is a philosopher himself. And by the way, his writer and his book, Life Simple, 100 Words to Live By, stays as my Bible ever since it was published. And by the way, he's been with this show for almost 6 years.
I love it.
Almost 6 years.
I love it so much.
And for the past few weeks, though, you probably noticed, where's Ken Hemming? And I'm glad to help you, to tell you that he's been back from his little maintenance, from which he totally recovered. So I'm so glad to hear you back, and I put this tie on to celebrate your full recovery. How about that?
Jack, thank you so much. I love to be with you and your viewers as much as I love breathing, and I'm happy to feel normal again. I went through some bad things in the last month, and here I am again, back to my beautiful, obnoxious self.
Oh yeah, I know, but in life, bad things always happen, right?
Yeah, and I'm a survivor.
It is important is that, do you come back?
That's right, right.
Once you are back, you're okay, right? We have been through all kind of troubles, including physical, including health problems, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But well, I believe with the Chinese Buddhist belief,
well, I love it.
Once you've gone through all these troubles,
nothing's left.
Nothing is left.
Yeah.
You're consumed, exhausted all the bad luck.
Right now, I'm going to outlive planet Earth.
Very good. All right, you deserve another girlfriend.
I deserve somebody.
Right?
I'm a lonely boy.
Good. All right, good. So, what do you have for the weeks that you've been out?
Well, you know, there's so much going on in this world. It's incredible. Okay, and a lot of it's political, and a lot of it's just real and different. You know, Brexit with Europe and everything. I watched Angela Merkel and the Prime Minister of England this morning. I watched some Hong Kong activities this morning, and it's so much. I think one of the main things that I'd like to say is there was an evolution.
How about we first touch base with the China-U.S. trade discussions?
Yes.
Which is about to resume.
Yes, it's about to resume.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
You know, my greatest hope comes from the belief that President Trump and President Xi get along. I think they have mutual respect. They may have some different value systems. They may have some other things that disagree on, but they both want a glorious future for each country. And the best way to do that, and I want China to have as glorious a future as America.
It doesn't surprise me if you tell me that Donald Trump and President Xi Jinping, they have difference.
Right.
They have to have a difference because they stand for two different nations,
correct,
two different systems,
correct,
two different ideology and everything.
Right.
However, the fact is that we are so much together for the past 30, 40 years.
Right. No, yeah, since Kissinger went to China
together
with Nixon.
So if they are smart enough, either President Xi Jinping, or President Donald Trump, though, They got to do what they do now.
Yeah, and what they have to do, and one of the words in my book, which is on my value system, is tolerance. And they have to tolerate the differences, mediate the differences, and compromise the differences.
Compromise is the word.
Compromise is a huge word.
Compromise
okay?
is the word.
Yeah.
Compromise is the solution.
It's the solution where both countries can benefit tremendously.
Tolerance is the duration, and a compromise is a conclusion.
See, one word that doesn't work in life is stubborn. Stubborn doesn't work. We can't be stubborn, they can't be stubborn, or nothing happens.
Never be. Never try to be.
So that's a terrible word, stubborn. And so, both countries can, have we have a very vibrant economy going on in America right now. We have a lot of cards on our side, okay? China has had its slowest year for a while, and I don't want them to have a slow year. I want everybody to have a progressive year, okay?
Even China's slow year, though, I believe they are the technical area, in the technical area, because they have been on a fast growth, 2 digits or growth for more than 20 years now.
They were always 14, 15, 18%.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Right.
Well, of course, you have that kind of a fast growth. That's okay, but
hard to control.
For that too long, though,
right,
you might get exhausted with the natural resources.
Yeah.
And whatever supplies.
Hard to plan.
Or hard to plan.
Hard to plan. Yeah.
Right. So technically, they put themselves on the slower gear, which is even smarter.
It is.
And compare with the U.S. The U.S. economy for the past 3 years, though, and I believe I've never seen this good economy.
Well, it was great in the 80s with Ronald Reagan, and of course it was great after World War II because we were rebuilding the country and everything was quite good.
3.7 unemployment rate, though.
Fantastic.
Is a record-breaking level.
And there's over 1 million jobs available that we can't fill. So we need people of quality skill sets to be able to fill them. So I'm sort of retired, but I could find a job right now, and sometimes I think about, wow, I'd like to get some more paychecks.
That's why we recover.
Yeah, so maybe I could earn some money instead of just smile. But it's good, and you can just feel it. You go to the malls, because I've heard all the way from like 65% to 78% or something of our economy is all on the consumer. The consumers are me and you that have jobs, they make some money, and they spend it. They're spending it with confidence.
That's why I see no reason the United States gets one more blow from the bad deal of the trade negotiation discussion or tariff war, whatever you may.
Right. Yeah.
So, and China too, a more planned development, a more planned economy increase, is by no means a bad thing. No. It's even better than those fast, crazy increase.
See, trade, correct me if you disagree, trade is a capitalistic activity. It's a trade activity, it's a business activity. Business is capitalistic, okay, and it's a healthy to have a profit motive because then it motivates people to be more efficient, to do well, have a greater productivity, and then reap the benefits from that. And the world is actually a very tiny place, 25,000 miles to fly around the world, and so there's really very few impacts on borders for doing business. Now, like Germany, they try to tariff some of our stuff. Trump says, well, then we'll put it on your Mercedes coming over here. So there's all of these little nuances to international trade. But still, we all need international trade because no country just has everything in its resources to meet all its needs.
People may disagree to the hope, right? But by looking at who gets the hit, the answer is right there.
Right.
The answer is right there. For the past several months, though, U.S. farmers,
yes, sir,
farmers of soybeans,
right,
farmers of corns,
right,
they got hit. Right?
They got hit.
And the farmers of beef,
right.
Yes,
they
got hit.
Yeah.
And in China, they have to go elsewhere,
right,
for
to buy the soybeans
supply.
in that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
for the supply from Brazil, from Russia, from whatsoever, who knows where, at a higher price.
Right.
And also, for the past decades, people are kind of fed that way.
That's true.
Right? Like the Chinese consumers, they like American beef.
Sure.
Take the almasam. You know almasam?
No, tell me.
Almasam is the stomach of a cow.
Really?
The stomach
Thank
of a
you.
cow. It has like the window, like a window blind though.
Yeah.
It lifts
Valves.
after lifts like that. And the American almasam is the best one.
Okay.
And the Chinese, especially when they do the hot pot though.
Yes, sir.
They use that a lot.
Yeah, okay.
All of a sudden, there's no supply of U.S. almasam. People get wonder what happened, what's wrong.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So people are fit that way. People
Yeah.
get used to it that way. So I would keep my fingers crossed. Let the leaders be smart.
right.
Let the negotiation be handled in the right way. So people stop suffering.
See, one of, I believe, China's negotiations in this trade situation is to stop buying certain of these things from America, to kind of punish our farmers, to maybe reduce some of their dedication to President Trump and his policies. But the farmers, I'm so proud of them. They're sticking with it because it's a long-term solution. There may be short-term circumstances that are negative on members of our economy or our economy as a whole. But for the long term, you have to pay a current price to have a longer term prosperity. And the farmers are hanging in so beautifully.
The fact is that either China or the United States, we all have our enemies, all right? They are happy to see something happen.
Yeah, right.
Between
Difficulties,
us.
yeah.
So,
right.
so that they started making all kinds of propaganda
Yeah.
about what we're doing. As a matter of fact, we can overcome ourselves.
Yeah, we can.
Right? We can.
Yeah.
Right? As a matter of fact, we're doing it.
Yeah, the segments of our society, farming, are you kidding me? How important is that? That's where everything's grown.
That's huge.
Yeah, and then
That's
one of the
huge,
great
yeah.
things the president has done is now, like when, say, the guy, because they have these farms for 3, 4, 5 generations, but he removed the estate tax on passing farms from one generation to the next. That was a huge impact.
And Trump has to give them supplements.
Right, which they're appreciating and they're hanging in.
Which is a situation nobody benefits from.
Yeah, it just keeps the farmers solvent.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, my dear friend,
tough.
let's take a short moment out. We come back. We'll continue. Probably we want to stay domestic, see what's going on in this lovely country of ours. Stay with us.
Everything we have to continue to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host English News every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome back to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West Show. That is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history that is hand-forged by 10 generations of the greatest craftsmen, which stands for a testimony for the spectacular and a share of the royal glory. Back to the show. With me is my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming. We're doing our bi-weekly update. So what's the next lineup?
Well, let me.
I have it here.
Yeah.
So you want to start with the recession?
Yeah.
Quote unquote recession?
Yeah. And what's happening? It's a technique that if you tell a lie enough times, people will start to believe it. And that's true because the consumer mentality, because on 95% of the media coverage on President Trump and our economy is negative.
A lie is becoming a truth when repeated 1,000 times.
Right. No. See, that's right, and that's exactly what's happened in fascism and Nazism and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In socialism, you keep telling that we can give you everything for free, and if you say it enough, all of a sudden say, well, why don't we find out? And then all of a sudden you're subject, you lose your freedom, and the government has all the power.
Yeah, sure.
So what President Trump has to do is just keep emphasizing the progress on our economy. Now, as you said before, like in China, they were having double-digit growth in their GDP, gross national products, and that. But it's hard to control that and plan for it when it gets a little out of control. Growth, okay, so now we've done so well in the last 2 years. The stock market was 18,000. It's 26,500 now. That's like 11 trillion added to our net worth.
The Dow's was 26,500 once.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it was up to still up another 220 today. But so it's good. Okay, earnings are good by companies, and when people have busy hands or happy hands. When you have a job, you know you got another paycheck coming, so you can go ahead, hopefully not overuse your credit card, but you can spend, and that's what keeps families growing and prospering together, and houses more affordable.
Of course, as a CPA, you know that philosophy.
I do. Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know the economy pretty much.
Economy,
I'm not an expert,
exactly,
but I've thought about it for 40 years. So right now, Trump and the Republican Party and just the media, that's the little part that's positive, has got to emphasize the positive, minimize the negative. The other media, 95%, they never mention the unemployment rate. They never mention the Dow and what's happened. It's only well, let's see. We were inverted on the short-term and long-term bond returns last week for 2 days. That usually can predict a recession. But a recession is 2 quarters where you have negative growth in your economy. That's 6 months. And we haven't, we've never had it for a week yet.
But it is well understood. It is very well understood that to agree or not agree with a recession is one thing.
But it's calculable.
But the other thing is to tell what causes the economy to recess. Right?
Correct.
So let's find out the cause. Do we see the cause now?
Not now.
No. From you, of course, you're a CPA for life, though.
I am.
So, what are the causes?
Well, the failure to grow, unemployment, a reduced earning power of each individual. When a person is making a decent living, they're not in a recession.
A fast growing of unemployment is one of the signs.
That's one of the signs.
Okay.
Okay.
What else? Which we don't have.
Corporations not making appropriate profits, for different reasons. Competition or inefficiency or a product line becomes obsolescence.
Corporations are hiring, expanding. That's what we see now.
Well, and we have, like I said, we've got like 800,000 jobs that we can't even fill yet. They're there. They're being advertised, and so anybody that really wants a job can get a job. It may not be the maximum of your earning potential, but it will be a job, and you'll have a paycheck every 2 weeks or whenever. So the jobs are available. Corporations are doing well. Every day at maybe 2 weeks after the end of a quarter.
And the stock market.
Oh, it's on fire. It's leveled off right now at the 27,000 range. But leveling off at that, which is 8,000 points above 18,000 when it was when Trump got elected. See, remember, Jack, when the night Trump was elected, the people were saying the stock market's going to go down 3,000 points tomorrow because it's going to be a disaster with people thinking Trump's going to be president. It went up. It just went right up. So they were all wrong. Everybody that predicted Hillary would win easily, which was like 93% chance of winning, they were all wrong. And then these polls, one thing I've learned is never believe a poll, because they're just not, you could get a result from a poll, any result you want, by asking the right people that support your
I learned from past that it all depends who does the poll.
Absolutely. Who you
doesn't?
call, who you
Yeah,
talk to.
Yeah. And there's always a direction to go. They
Yeah.
know where to go, right?
Yeah.
So, in other words, we confirm
They do.
that
You're right.
we confirm that we do not have the fast increase of unemployment, which is one of the necessities to cause a recession.
We don't have that.
Which we do not have. And the other is the corporate does not make proper money,
And they are.
so that they cannot expand, they cannot hire, all right? All right.
In the high-tech companies, they're on fire.
Number two, we did not have. And number three, we have jobs that we are not filling yet
Right.
because we can't find enough people.
So
to
that's
fill in
potential for
those
greater growth. You
like,
fill the jobs.
800,000?
Yeah, at least. Literally.
800,000 to 800,000. That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Jobs, which is a fact. So what else are stock market.
In the stock markets, I mean, it's, my sister, okay, who I love, she doesn't like Trump at all. Her investments are up 40%. And she goes, well,
Good for
Trump
her.
didn't have anything to do with that. I said he had
What
everything
stock
to do with
did
it.
she buy?
Oh, all kinds of things. She's got money.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
ask her what did she buy?
It's all balanced out. But and so we've got to appreciate that. Actually, I forgot to look exactly how many 401k plans of individuals exist in America right now. I mean, it's in the it's in the millions. Okay,
All right.
and they've all just grown in the last 2 years. And people notice that, because I used to get my 401k, I go, I'm up a little, I'm down a little, whatever. But over time, the greatest way to financial security is patience in planning. It's long term. You can't predict the market on a daily basis.
So we can confirm openly that there is no recession.
We have a strong
to this economy.
And see what's happening, particularly the
Why
one thing
there
that's
is such a call for recession?
because they want to convince the people that we don't have a recession, about to have one, then they will lose their faith in Donald Trump and vote for a socialist. That's kind of that's the whole program. But see, and what's happening too, if you look at the European Union, the countries over there, no economy of a substantial amount is on fire like America's economy. Europe has big troubles going on. Okay, Asia, Japan, it's not. They have negative returns for bonds, which is unbelievable.
All right.
I mean, it's
so. To make a long story
and that
short,
slows us down too.
To make a long story short, to have a conclusion from you.
Yeah.
One of the professionals.
Yes, sir.
Right? In this whole area, though, we have no sign of recession at all.
Yeah, I mean, the inversion curve goes a little bit for a couple days, and they make a big deal out of it. It's not a big deal. But because all they want to do, and they being those that want Trump to lose, are to try to take away confidence in the president's leadership. And they do that by saying, the economy is going to be horrible if we reelect Trump. It's not.
Right.
It's only going to be
All
great.
right, my dear friends, let's take a short moment out. We feel better that we have no recession with this economy, so don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
So we will be right back, please.
Everything we have continued to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host English News every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West Show. That is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family, designated the brand of jewelry with the 400 years of glorious history that is hand-forged by 10 generations of the greatest craftsman on earth, which stands for a testimony for spectacular and a share of the royal glory.
Love them.
All right, I wish I get one.
Me too. I want something good.
All right. So, with my friend Ken Hemming, we're doing the bi-weekly update. However, due to the past few months of absence of health conditions, we're just picking up all the most important things we feel during the past week. So.
Yes, sir.
And how do you feel about the front line at the border control issue versus the cooperation between the United States and Mexico?
Well, you know, I'm going to make kind of a general statement that's very interesting. There is greater cooperation right now between Mexico and America, with Mexico having about 26,000 of their soldiers at the southern and northern borders of their country, and they are helping to stop the flow of refugees coming from other South American countries, including Mexico. So there is more cooperation. I mean, it's certainly not perfect yet, but President Trump, with his tactics, he said, you know, you got to help us, or I'm just going to start, you know, tariffing things coming in from Mexico. They didn't want that to happen. It'll hurt their economy even more, and so they are helping. And so there's more cooperation between America and Mexico now than there is in America Because what's happened, which is so tragic, is all of these negative things that are radical media is proposing and supporting is unappreciation for our ICE people that protect our border and enforce our immigration laws, and for our police officers that are being assaulted and thrown water on and everything, and encouraged by the media and by the radical leftists, okay? And so there's, and I still can't understand how anybody really wants open borders where just anybody can come in. All it would do is blow up the welfare system. I don't want to take care of the whole world. We can't. We can't afford it.
And
so I don't understand it.
I really want to ask you a favor.
Yes, sir.
That you and I come down,
yes, sir,
on a common ground to clarify,
yes,
some bottom line issues.
Yes, sir.
Number one, the wall issue.
Yes.
Well, do we have to or not? Or now or later for the wall? That's one issue, right?
Right.
Okay. Second issue, though, border control and an open border are two different issues.
Well,
right?
okay.
It is, border control means that what kind of a border control you want to have.
Okay.
Based on the fact that it is not a open border. So people
it's been
asking,
an open border. That's the
people
problem.
asking to lose on border control does not necessarily mean they go for open border.
But in essence, we've had an open border. Over 100,000 people, way more, coming in. Over millions,
let's take care
walking
of it
across.
one by one.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Thank you.
People supporting border control does not necessarily mean they support the wall.
No,
You
that's
see,
true.
There are different levels.
But I do believe in the wall.
Open border.
So does China.
Okay. Open border, border control, wall.
Right.
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 There are different categories.
Right.
Right. Okay. Now, looking at the present time, though, wall issue. Well, I agree.
We're making progress.
They have slowed down on that.
But it's still being built, and we're going to get there.
No. I mean, as for the heat.
Oh,
the
against,
heat,
yeah, okay, right.
The heat you
don't
feel
hear
about
as much about immigration
you don't hear
even
about
anymore.
it,
Right.
Anymore, right?
Right.
So it quiet down a little bit.
Right.
Because we have obstacles, and the Donald Trump has his obstacle too.
Right, but also the Supreme Court has helped Donald Trump
Money
now.
is the issue.
Right, but the Supreme Court has helped
And
Trump
number two,
reallocate money.
border control, though, the word control is really a loose range word, because you can do it 100%, you can do it 10%.
Well, if it's not 100%, you don't have control.
Well, you can tighten it, you can loosen it.
Right.
Right? So now, and this is different from open borders.
Right.
Right. Okay, now, with all the three laid down, though, right, I prefer your focus on the U.S. and American cooperation rather than the U.S. cooperation.
Well, you mean U.S. and Mexico cooperation?
Yes, the U.S. and Mexico cooperation.
That's happening, and I'm thrilled.
Rather than the American support from America.
The radical left in America is fighting against Mexico helping us and fighting against us controlling our borders. That's I don't understand it. It's a tragedy. And one thing that people don't focus on is people are coming in here. Yes, there's some good people coming in here illegally. Illegal is not good, but they're coming in here, good people. But also, we have had many, many thousands, like 642,000 crimes by illegal aliens occurred over an 8-year period in Texas. 642,000.
Yeah.
And there's victims to those crimes. That's
I
what
agree,
there's
I
always-
agree, I agree.
So it's a tragedy.
Okay, now, to a certain extent, though, we have to make sure that we seal up the border like a zip. We'll seal it up
Right.
for the time being, right? Now that you mentioned, looking at the economy, there are 800,000 jobs need to be filled on.
Right, right.
And we have 11 million of them undocumented. We pick up the good ones.
Well,
No
right.
bad record
Yeah.
whatsoever. Put them in line up.
No,
let
that's-
them line up in a
yeah.
long queue
Yeah.
to fill up the job market.
In the queue, though, should not be a quick route to citizenship. The people that are coming here illegally have to wait a long
We're
time.
not talking about citizenship.
Back of the line. Correct,
We're
right.
talking about offer them an opportunity to work for their own food.
Because right now they are working, but in the black market, the undercover, okay?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
So
There's no
bring
revenue.
them out into the sunlight.
There's no revenue of the income to the government.
That's a problem. That's
right?
a big one.
That's
yeah.
a big problem.
That's a big one.
Right?
We're paying for them.
Bring them into the sunlight.
Yeah.
Pick up the good ones.
Right.
Pick up the good ones.
No criminal record.
Criminal record.
Right.
Totally clean, squeaky clean.
Right.
Have them line up in a long queue.
Right.
And then fill the job market.
Yeah.
So we can benefit at both ends.
See, now, President Trump, which I totally agree, wants a merit-based immigration system. You got to bring, my grandfather came here, he didn't have any money, but he was a carpenter, so he had a skill set. You have to come with this skill set, not just generations of poverty and you've been on welfare or
Yeah.
starving to death for
No.
200 years.
No.
Yeah, so we need-
rather than
Right.
talking about it as a single definition,
Right, yeah.
right? We really have to have some kind of details worked out.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
You're right.
So for that, some call it immigration reform.
Well, we do need immigration reform.
Yeah. So
We have laws, they're not
does
enforced.
Does that mean immigration reform, such you and I described, right, can be commonly accepted by Democrats and Republicans?
Well, see,
both?
President Trump says we could solve this in 15 minutes, but our Congress won't cooperate with itself.
Why
it could
not?
be solved.
Why not? Because like
Because-
just now, you and I we're talking about, right? So we handpick those good ones,
Well, in my opinion,
give
Jack,
them jobs.
in my opinion, the leftists that have taken over, look, there's great Democrats, okay? They're just Americans, but there's a lot that are now leftists, that are socialists, and worse, okay? Tyrannous. Want these other people to come in with the hope they'll get their vote when you give them a free cell phone or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they want everybody in. It's all a matter of trying to get votes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And like AOC, this one congresswoman just came out yesterday, said, oh, the Electoral College is just racist in itself. Everybody's a racist. Okay, I'm a racist. Cool, doesn't bother me. Call me anything you want. It's very, very sad. So we need quality citizens, not just quantity.
You're right.
Quality. And also,
Quality
we're not
citizens.
teaching the Constitution enough in schools anymore.
Yeah.
The schools are propaganda resources right now for liberalism, for the leftists. A liberal's fine. A leftist is different. Okay, there's a big difference. Okay, liberals fine. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, president for 16, 15 years. He was liberal and had to do some socialistic programs because of the Great
But
Recession.
not a leftist.
But not a leftist. No, there's a huge difference. Because the leftist socialism, that there's no freedom left for the individual citizens.
Means that you don't want to go to extreme.
No.
You don't want to
no.
go to extreme, right?
No,
the
no
leftists, the leftists, or even the righties.
Yeah, well, except there's 1,000 leftist radicals to one.
I mean, neither leftists or the righties do we want, right?
No.
We just want people to be, in the middle, within the range.
To live for the Constitution, for the Founding Fathers' of image of a free nation. We're a republic.
Let's get back to the issue, though.
Yeah.
Now, with the understanding that we handpick those good ones from the 11 million,
Which is
to
fair,
fill
'cause
up
it's
the
our
job
country.
market,
Right.
and that will get the problem resolved right?
Well,
And
sort of,
pressure
except they've got to be
reduced.
trained.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't
Of
have
course,
skill
of course,
sets.
of course.
Yeah, that's the
It's
problem.
not going to happen overnight.
That's
though,
the problem, yeah.
But it's a long process.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we seal up the border. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I came across a big news at the border the other day. I saw a little video.
Yes, sir.
Video of the seesaw play boards for the kids
Oh, yeah, okay.
over the fence.
Oh, yeah. That's
They're the
cool.
wooden fans, right?
Okay.
The wooden fans.
That's cool.
They put the seesaw thing.
That's
with
cool.
with the border law officers kind
Watching.
of cross arms watching.
I like that.
The kids at the line, they
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
And the women, their mothers.
We're all just humans, okay? That's why I say
Mm-hmm. Right.
I only recognize the human
Very
race.
nice, right?
Oh, yeah, that's sweet.
Okay, my dear friend, dear audience, my dear brother and sister, it doesn't look that we have a huge problem that we cannot get over it. It is exaggeration.
It is.
Exaggeration. It is that the enlargement that made it so scary, right? So, all right, my dear friends, let's take a short moment now. We come back to continue right away, please.
Everything expected and straight. It's like the same John Wayne.
Uh-huh.
My name is Paul James. I host English news every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audience, and welcome back to the East-West Show, exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history that is hand-forged by 10 generations of the master craftsman, which stands for a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. Back to the show. With me today is my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, who successfully recovered from his little health condition. I call it the maintenance.
I had a lot of issues, and I'm perfect now.
It's a long sought
Yeah.
maintenance, long waiting
Right,
maintenance.
long time.
We all need to do that. Every now and then, you think about put yourself back in the body shop, do some kind of and maintenance is quite necessary.
You got an
right?
updated body.
Update your body anyway. All right, a missing part or something whatsoever.
It's all
right?
good.
All right. Anyway, there is one area, one big thing. As Californians, we really have to talk about our crazy laws, such as AB 109, versus what we are seeing now, as officers being killed, as four women were killed in a day,
Yeah.
right, by a guy who's been in and out of jail 14 times over 3 months. That is 90 days,
Yeah.
right? So what's your take on that? You and I, we're talking about the bigger things. We keep
Yeah,
forgetting
right.
California.
Right, our local. See, something happened to me yesterday. I was getting a car waxed, okay? And then in the place where they're waxing it, making it real pretty, the TV was on Channel 5, and it was the funeral for a California Highway Patrol motorcycle officer, 28 years old. His whole dream in life was to be a motorcycle officer, and then he had a pullover of a van or a car.
The regular check.
Just a regular check, and then the guy got out with a rifle, and this guy he was wounded. He called for backup, and he died. Another officer was severely wounded, and anyway, the guy with the rifle, enough officers showed up, and he's dead. But and I'm there. I'm watching this for an hour. I probably lost 3 pounds in tears because he has family and everything. All of these things, the tragedies, the disrespect shown that didn't used to be like this. The disrespect shown by society often now, and also a lot of these people that should not be released, like you say on AB 109, they should not be released. In our like Mayor de Blasio in New York, he's letting them out of jails. Our governor here, he's letting them out of jails. And our prosecutors are not seeking the proper sentences. They're looking for an easy way out, just like an insurance claim. Well, let's settle. Okay, 90 days and then you're free, and they go out and do something worse. It's a tragedy. Because all I think about is the victims, Jack, and then for every one victim, there's all the people he knows
Now
that are
everybody,
victims.
including you and me, we're victims already.
We are.
Right? You'll never know the minute we finish this, walk out of the studio, something will probably happen to you.
I know.
All right?
Yeah. And then
This is critical, and we are the ones paying. We're taxpayers.
Yeah.
We're taxpayers.
And then every time somebody does something bad with a gun, then they try to take away our Second Amendment rights.
We deserve a law that protects us.
That's right.
Instead of favoring the opposite way.
They are.
Right.
They're favoring the opposite way.
To my audience, we need in case you do not know the whole thing, though, I have a little update for you.
Yes.
How about that? We update our.
You're very up to date on
our audience a little bit.
These issues.
It was a year of 2010 or something. The Supreme Court found out in a decision or in a verdict that California jail had been overcrowded by 13%.
And yeah, I know where you're going.
In other words, and they're supposed to hold 1,000,
Yeah.
now 1,130.
Yeah.
Right? So, with that as a final, and it comes down to California, has to either build prisons for the 13% of the overflowing bad guys, the jail inmates, or
Let them out.
put them on the street.
Right.
Right? Obviously, California, for the past 2 decades, has squandered the money on the jail building,
You're right.
jail construction, and the propositions recommended to them as to take care of the overflowing jail inmate problem were denied one after another.
Yeah.
For example, my friend Kurt Hagman
Yes.
of San Bernardino County as
met
a
him.
supervisor,
Yes, sir.
he recommended about more than 10 years ago, say, you should contract the state prison to local prison. Number
Okay.
2, you should contract state prison with local businesses who will use their warehouse facilities to be modified
Oh, that's good. I like that.
into jailhouses
I like that.
to help reduce the pressure.
I like
right?
that, yeah.
So none of those were admitted.
Yeah.
So now it came to a point that Governor Brown at that time was, well, just took it easy,
Yeah,
just
just took
one
it easy.
cut. So release the 13% out on the street.
Yeah.
While releasing, though, they are not picking up they are not handpick up the better ones, not better ones.
Right. In other words, the least dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, most of
they were letting a lot of dangerous
most
people
of the
out.
less dangerous ones.
Right, yeah.
They released on the average,
Yeah. Just random almost.
including the dangerous ones.
Right.
Right. So the law they made is AB 109 called jail alignment.
Thank you.
Jail alignment. Jail alignment, the AB 109. It is a assembly bill. It's AB.
Yeah.
All right. Now, according to that, when the bad guys released, they want to make sure these guys will not come back to jail, which is overcrowded anyway. They follow that with another law called Proposition 47.
Okay.
47 has raised the threshold of coming back to jail. For example,
Okay.
stealing. If you handpick, you handlift, shoplift something for $450,
Yeah.
you cross the threshold already and you are a criminal,
Right.
you get arrested.
Yeah.
Right? That was the law back then. Now, Proposition 47 increased that by 100%,
Yeah.
making it 900, no, not a 900.
950, wasn't it?
Not a 100%, more than 100%, 950.
Yeah.
So instead of 450, now you have to steal over $950
Yeah.
to qualify
Yeah.
to go back to prison.
Otherwise, a misdemeanor or something. Yeah.
Otherwise, just a misdemeanor.
Right.
Just like a pee in a corner of the street.
Yeah.
That's something like that.
Yeah.
All right, now. And even for that, they are still not sure that the purpose of the whole thing is to keep them on the street.
Yes. Right. Right.
And then they made another law, which is Proposition 57,
Okay.
which made it called flash incarceration,
Okay.
which means that when you are arrested in the morning, say by 8 o'clock,
Yes, sir.
by 4 in the afternoon, you're out on the street. If you're
In and out
arrested
in a
at 4 in
flash.
the afternoon, though, next morning you're out on the street.
Yeah.
Then, like they quoted it, they used it in a very vivid description, flash.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
Like they flash the badge, the flash
Yeah, right.
incarceration.
Yeah.
Right? That. And what made it even worse that at the flash incarceration though, what taken into consideration or for probation whatsoever,
Yeah.
it is just a last encounter.
Okay.
Last,
Not a history.
not history.
Yeah.
Just a last offense.
That's pathetic. Yeah.
Just a last offense.
Yeah.
The guy who killed the woman, 4 women,
Yeah.
in one day was in and out of jail for 14 times for 3 months. Why would that happen? Because they look at the file,
Flash, flash, flash.
they see the top page.
Yeah. Right.
That's it.
Right.
All right? Oh, yesterday
Yeah. You did this.
he did this.
Yeah.
Like that. So that's why he can't offend that much. As a matter of fact, thanks to the law of AB 109, are we having California? We're having.
May I make 2 little points?
Yeah.
Am I correct that the guy that killed these 4 did it with knives?
Knives.
Okay, not a
Stab
gun.
dash.
There's as many people that die by knives as they do by bullets. Okay.
Slow death.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Slow
horrible.
die.
I've always wondered what it feels
Slow
like.
die.
Right. It's horrible. But also the other thing that's contributed terribly to California, I can't be specific on the laws and whatever, but our state used to have a lot of mental health facilities, many of which were closed down. So many of our criminals obviously have some mental problems. Okay. There's a lot of people with, I mean, I may have some too. They have some mental health issues that used to be then institutionalized to try to help them and also to keep them from being in society where they could be very dangerous.
You know who are
That's
the
hurt
real,
us a lot.
Who are the real community that has a mental problem? Are legislators,
I agree.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
But for mental conditions, how would they produce anything like AB 109?
Right.
Right?
You're right.
This is really mental.
You're right.
Mental condition.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now you are overcrowded.
It is, yeah.
Where is the money? Nobody asks.
Yeah.
And nobody even goes to jail for that. Right?
And I like what you said, the other gentleman, Hagman, that, convert some of these
Yeah,
warehouses.
converted to where the warehouse
least violent
whatsoever,
people. Yeah.
Right. And then put the violent people. They can contract or subcontract
Yeah.
to take care of the problem.
You could build
Nobody
walls
accepts
fast.
it.
Yeah.
Right?
You could build walls really fast
All right.
to incarcerate.
Now we have no protection at all, right? Who failed those mental condition, the legislature, who created laws such as AB 109, Proposition 47, Proposition 57, they are the ones failing us.
And they keep getting reelected.
And then they keep,
Because
they keep
our
being
our population, which includes me, we're sort of ignorant on some of this because not enough
That
people
is our
study it.
problem and huge.
It is. It is. Ignorance is a problem. Voter ignorance is a big problem.
And the other day I had my friend Joe Gunner here.
Yes.
I said, let's do something. Let's create some protests.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking at my email. Nobody answered me. Nobody followed my call. I feel sad about it. Once again,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that this situation deserves a protest. Let's do something. Write to me, say, tell my DJ at gmail.com. Let's see, we want to do something, all right? We're over time. We're quite over time, my dear friends. But, well, we're happy that we want to make one point clear. We did. All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Jack.
you for watching. Thank you for your time. And
Thank you.
Ken. Thank you.
Thanks
my
for
dear
letting me
friend.
come back.